It's Purple Sparkle. What's up everyone, I'm Jack Fossett. Welcome to the channel and welcome to this demo and review of the Danelectro Blackout 59. This is the first Danelectro guitar that I've ever owned. It's really, really cool. We're going to start off with a jam here, talk about it a little bit, and then hear all the pickup settings. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy. The Blackout 59. Many of you might recognize this guitar shape. This is based on the classic Danelectro 59 model, the double cutaway, which was made famous by many artists. Most notably, this type of guitar, this style of Danelectro guitar was used by Jimmy Page when they would perform Kashmir. I've also seen Mark Knopfler use them for slide. Loads of other musicians have played Danelectro. Danelectro always kind of sat in its own unique place, partially because of its, unique materials and construction and everything. This one takes the idea of the old Danelectro, and again, this is kind of a vintage modern done right. It's got all the vintage styling that you like, but it's got some modern features, like it's got a dual action truss rod, it's got an adjustable wraparound bridge, it's got the NOS plus lipstick pickups. Lipstick pickups, kind of jangly, traditionally very low output. These have the same kind of character, but a higher output. Really, really cool guitar. It's got a maple neck, it's got a plywood semi-hollow body, and again, it's got all that kind of cool vintage vibe. I like the vintage style tuners on it, and it's very playable and suits a lot of great tones. Now, this guitar I got through a Sweetwater sponsorship. I've talked about this in other videos. It was a what would I buy for $1,000, and I was doing it through Sweetwater's Gear Exchange, which is their used gear site. Very cool site where you can buy used gear, you can sell gear. If you sell and you get Sweetwater credit, you don't pay any seller fees. You also get negotiated shipping rates. There's just all kinds of great things with the Sweetwater Gear Exchange, and the promotion was I got $1,000 to buy whatever I would buy and help direct people towards Gear Exchange. Well, one of the things that I wanted to get, and one of the tops on my list, was a Danelectro. What's the reason for that? One of the reasons for that is because this is what they do. They've always made really cool, really playable, really respectable budget guitars. So this is like basically as good a Danelectro as you can get. It's like, yeah, there are a couple models that are a little bit more expensive and things, but like, it's not like there's a crazy Danelectro custom shop or something. It's like, this is what they do. They've always done what they've done, and they've always done it at a high level. So I like the idea that, even though it's a less expensive guitar, I'm getting something that's the best that the company has to offer. This is what they do. They're putting their best foot forward with every one of these guitars. Now, the Blackout series, again, besides the the additional kind of modern features, which you also see on other Danelectro guitars, it's just a really cool aesthetic, right? You've got this purple sparkle, you've got the matte black, and it just kind of gives it another sort of juicy kind of looking vibe on a really cool guitar that's definitely going to turn heads. This one particular one comes in a number of different finishes. If you are interested in this guitar or the other gear in the video, I am going to affiliate link below to where you can get them through Sweetwater. Please remember, if you shop through those links, whether you get this guitar or any other gear through that link, gives me a little commission, costs nothing extra to you. Great way to support the channel and to support this whole program. Now, Danelectros are obviously a little bit off the beaten path still. And what was cool about having this one, because I've played them before and I've always thought they were cool, but again, I've never owned one. And even though they're not that expensive, there was always that kind of like, yeah, but it's different, right? It's different. I'm having the same experience with this as I did with Rickenbacker guitars. And many of you who followed me for a while know that I have a Rickenbacker that I love. And what struck me about that one, and what's also struck me about this Danelectro, is the most important thing is to remember is that it's still an electric guitar. It's just a really good, really cool electric guitar. Does it have a unique tone and a unique feel that's more off the beaten path? Yes, absolutely. But it's not like you're playing a different instrument. You can still get awesome blues tones. You can still get awesome rock tones. You could still get jazz tones or country tones or things. They're a little bit different, but they're still totally usable. And hopefully you heard at the beginning, kind of using it with a bunch of different effects and things, like it still gets just a really soulful, rich, powerful sound that you could use for a lot of different things, and particularly with these higher output pickups. Now, when you listen to them clean, yeah, they still kind of retain that cool Danelectro. Again, similar to a Rick in a way. It's kind of got a jangly thing. It's kind of got this sort of bright, spanky thing. It's not quite a Fender sound. One of the interesting things about this particular one, also this particular model, is that if you look at the neck pickup, it's set much closer to the bridge than the neck pickup would be on other guitars. So it's not quite like a middle pickup would be, but it's not really as kind of cool and bassy as your typical neck pickup would be either. Just a lot of great things to say about this guitar. Now, there was one thing about this particular one that really irked me. And if you've played Danelectros before, I've seen kind of poked around a little bit and seen that a lot of players have problems with this. The dual knobs just don't do it for me at all. It's got the stacked volume and tone for each pickup, and they just don't, I don't think they particularly work very well. You try and roll one and the other one kind of snags and goes with it, and they're not particularly smooth. That's the one kind of qualm I would have with this guitar. I think it would be better with just a basic Telecaster wiring setup, right? A three-way switch, one master volume, one master tone. I think that would be better. That's really not a deal breaker. It's a really cool, really inexpensive guitar. That's just kind of one idiosyncrasy. Other people might have a different experience with it, but I definitely was kind of like, yeah, I want to change that. I want to swap out the pots and just go with a master volume and a master tone, which they do have on several other Danelectro guitars, I should mention. Now, today I'm plugging into a Supro Montauk, which is a little 10-watt, 10-inch speaker Supro. What I thought would be kind of cool about that is that, like, if you were a budding guitar player in the 60s and you had a Danelectro and you had a little Supro amp, it's like you were rocking out, man. Like, you were the bee's knees. You were a king of the hill. It was that was like as cool a budget rig as you could ever have. And so I thought I'd kind of honor that and use that amplifier for today. Kind of two companies that are each bringing back what was once sort of a budget thing that was also used by Jimmy Page, but used by many famous artists to great effect, even though they were meant as a friendly option to your wallet. So that's the rig today. For pedals, what you heard at the beginning was using a J-Rocket Dude for the overdriven tone, and then I was using a Jim Dunlop Band of Gypsies Fuzz Face Mini for that really cool, really rich fuzz lead tone. Now you're going to hear it clean all pickup settings, and then I'm going to do it overdriven all pickup settings, and for that I'm going to use the Wampler Bell, a little bit milder sounding than the Dude, but hopefully this gives you a really wide picture of what all these pickup settings are able to do, and really the vast array of tones. So please let us know in the comments, do you have a Danelectro? Do you have a vintage one? Do you have a modern one? This is, again, cool. If you're into vintage guitars, you can still find them for not obscene amounts of money, right? They're still expensive, you know, vintage guitars, but comparatively to other guitars from the 1950s, way, way less money. And to be able to get a guitar this quality for this price, I think is unbelievable. And they're made in Korea too. But let us know in the comments, do you have a Danelectro? What do you think of this one? Stick around for some more tone. Please remember to do your shopping through those affiliate links below. And if you're in the used gear market as a buyer or a seller, check out Sweetwater Gear Exchange. I'm Jack Fossett. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the video.